Hello and what is going on, lovely people of the internet? It is Hoop Money here with another video for you guys today. Today we are going to be YOLOing. We are going to be finding the next short squeeze stock on the stock market. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do it before Wall Street Bets find it, before Reddit finds it, and we are going to do this together right here, right now. So before we get into the video, I'm going to ask you guys to please subscribe to this channel and turn on post notifications only if I want to earn this. You like the content of the video. Don't just give me a subscribe for no reason. I have to earn it. And even if you don't subscribe, I'm gonna ask you kindly ask you guys to like the video, because that's just the best thing you can do. It's free, it's easy to like the video, it costs you nothing, and what it does for me is it shows my videos to other people. It promotes my videos, it becomes closer up on the feed if you search it, and all in all, just like the video. So that being said, we're gonna get right into the video. Alright, so I'm going to try to keep this as simple and easy to follow as possible. Alright, so first we're going to have to go to finviz.com. That is finviz.com. We're going to head over to the screener right here. We are going to find float short. So we're going to change that to over 30%. And then we're going to want to go to custom right here. And then you can see here it has setting. So you are going to want to have shares float checked, and then float short checked, and then also you're going to want to have volume checked. Alright, so here we go, and we have a list of tickers in alphabetical order. So we're not going to use this order, but it's in alphabetical order, and they all have float short of above 30%. So in order to have a short squeeze, you need to have heavily shorted stock. So above 30%, you can get a short squeeze. And we've seen this with GameStop. We've seen it with AMC. We've seen it with Rocket. So people have been making very good money by finding these short squeezes. So we're going to sort it first by float short. So here we have the highest float short. So as you can see, MREO, KMPH, Bolt. Alright, so these are going to be your potential targets. So we can see the industry right here, biotechnology. A lot of people think it might be overvalued right now, which makes sense because a lot of people have been buying into these biotech stocks. Alright, so the next thing we want to look at is the float. So ideally we want to look for one with less than 100 million outstanding, and here's why. So the lower the float, the less shares it takes to get a good increase in price. So let's say we have this one with a $0.84 million float, or million share float. Okay, it takes only like a few shares to actually move this stock, and the higher the move you get, the faster the shorts will get their margin calls. So this is really important to have a lower float. Something like Rocket, it's not going to work out as well. It's a bigger company. It requires more people to get on board. And then we have volume. So the more volume, that's the more demand. All right. So we look at a supply and demand curve. The more demand increases the price. So higher volume is always better with these short squeezes. So that's the main things you want to look for. You want to look at float. You want to look at float short. And you want to look at volume. And make sure that float short is sorted from the highest to the lowest. Other thing to take into consideration is these values aren't always up to date. Sometimes they're lower. Sometimes the short squeezes have already happened. For example, I'm pretty sure Rocket does not have 38% short float anymore because there was a little short squeeze where the share price went from $20 a share to $40 a share. So we're looking for the same type of movement. We're trying to find something that's going to double in value because these shorts are just going to get squeezed. So one that I want to look at right now is KMPH, because this stock actually had an FDA approval recently, and I'm the most familiar with it. Not too familiar with MREO, but this one it fits our criteria. We've got 4 million shares outstanding. We've got 55% short float. We don't know how accurate that value is. It could be a few weeks old. So we're going to take that into account. We're going to look at this stock right now. We're going to open into a new tab, and I also have it on TradingView. So the cool thing about FinViz is it actually sets these support and resistance lines. So this is the support right here. This is a resistance line. You can see it's trading in the middle, and there's another support line right around $8 a share. So we're looking at something that's relatively close to the support line. It can only move like 10% downwards in order to hit this support line. And you can see right here there is big price action in this red candle that just seems to be out of absolute nowhere. And we know that this is the FDA approval. So when this drug got FDA approved, it went up here. And what I am thinking is that the shorts came in as soon as it became FDA approved. So the shorts might have exited their position already, or they could still be in. We don't know. But I'm going to assume if it got FDA approval and it already shot up and went down, I'm going to say that we missed out on this short squeeze. So here's another example of what the short squeeze looked like. You can see right here this humongous green candle right here for Rocket. And I was lucky enough, I was actually a long-term investor since around November, so I got in around $20 a share, and I was planning on holding this stock for the long term because it had a really good PE ratio at like literally like a 3 PE ratio, which I thought was just way too low. So that alone made me want to invest in this company. But then I should have known that a stock called Rocket would end up rocketing by some Reddit traders. But then out of nowhere, it shot up to $40 a share. So I sold half my shares at around 36 and then half my shares around 43. So that was a good play for me. I'm looking to get back into this stock in this $20 range. It's not quite there for me, but hopefully we see a little bit more of a dip. Don't hate me if there is no dip. Or don't hate me if there is a dip and you have shares right now, but I'm hoping that there's a dip and we get down to around $20 a share again, and then I'll get back into this company. All right, so we're going to look at MREO. Keep in mind, I don't know too much about this company, but we're just going to look at it for what it is. All right, so here's MREO. It doesn't look like there's been a short squeeze. If you could see from this one, there's just this random candle out here. For Rocket, there's this huge candle. For this, there's no extreme candles. And as you can see, there's lots of volume too when the short squeeze happens. So see, volume. This one, the volume was right over here. All right. And this one is heavily shorted. So what that tells me is there's a potential short squeeze waiting to happen. So this can't be that old because you see the volume spike right here. That's all the way in December. That's before 2021. So this is a relatively new value and there hasn't really been volume. So that means the shorts have not covered yet. So that is really good because we're looking for volume. All right. So we're trying to predict when the volume will go up and when there's a lot of short float. Those two factors together will cause a chain reaction. Boom. Shorts will have to cover. Boom. So MREO possibly, and this is not facts, I'm not a financial advisor, I can't tell you what's going to happen in the stock market. Honestly, no one knows what's going to happen, but we can look and see all these factors and see how they play out and see them being set up. And I think this is definitely something that could be set up to be a short squeeze. So it looks like the mortal enemy, Ken Griffin, pulls the trigger on this stock. So we all know Ken Griffin, CEO of Citadel Securities. He was on the bad end of the GameStop short squeeze and lost some money there. But we can see he has pulled the trigger on this stock. So I think he might be trying to get in on another short squeeze. So that is something to look out for. Let's just say if I were a billionaire and I lost a lot of money on a short squeeze, I'd be trying to make that money back somehow. So while short squeezes are hot, I think it might be a good idea to get in. You know, you never know. Now, this all being said, this stock is up from its June values of $1.23 a share all the way at $3.93 a share. I'm not too familiar with this company, but I know that is some very, very, very high growth, and that is probably the reason why it's being shorted. So another thing with these heavily shorted stocks, they're not all amazing stocks to get. All right, so the reason they're being shorted is because people think that they're overvalued, and it's not the average Joe Schmo who's out here shorting a stock. It's big hedge funds. It is seasoned day traders. It's people who know what they're doing who are shorting a stock. So stocks that are heavily shorted are not always the best to be in for the long term. So that's why you have to do your due diligence on the company. This is literally just me looking at it on the spot, looking at the technicals, looking at the float, the volume, all that. I'm not deep diving into this company to see what it does. So I'm just showing potential. I'm not showing what will happen. And that all being said, I'm looking at their financial statements now, and as you can see, there's absolutely zero revenue for this company, zero profit. They have some expenses though. As you can see, their operating income is negative, negatives across the table. So I will say it now, I have said it before, and I will say it again. I do not recommend investing in this company. MREO has potential for a short squeeze, has potential to be traded. It's definitely being looked at by a lot of people right now, and that alone can force the price to go up. But that doesn't mean it's actually valued. As you saw from those financial statements, they have no profit, they have no revenue, they are not making money right now. They are relying off investors to give them capital in order for them to grow their company. So this is not something you should rely on. It means that it has potential for a lot of growth in the future, but right now it is not doing anything. All right, it's losing money, and that is something to look out for. That's why it's being heavily shorted. So you always should know why a stock is being shorted. You shouldn't just blindly go into a stock just because it has 50% of its float short. If it's being shorted, there's a reason it's being shorted. So it's good to look into that. And I'm glad I can show you how to look into that through using FinViz and just looking at everything they have, all their tools, all their tools to use to basically study a company and figure out what's going to happen with it. And that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave the thumbs up. Help me get this video recommended to other people who are looking to educate themselves on the financial world, try to make some money in this world, and you know how it is. If you guys are new to investing, I actually have a link for WeBull down below, and you can get 2 free stocks if you deposit $100 into WeBull. So that's always good. I get 2 free stocks too. And that's a great way to support me. You can get started on investing. You can support me as a creator. Boom, boom, win-win. More stock videos to come. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And that's about it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.